Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the oNiD Sim Hound MPG Challenge in GT3s. I'm Ben Brown, and with me in the comms box for this coming season is Mr. Ben White. Hello, Ben.
Good
Ben and
evening. Yes,
Ben.
just to confuse everyone. Yeah, so we're here. We're back with more GT3 action. It's looking to be an interesting one as these guys have to deal with accelerated fuel usage.
Yeah, so we should start by the fact that I haven't done streaming comms aside from the odd enduro in about a year. So, welcome to probably the shoddiest oNiD stream you're going to see all week in terms of production quality. But yes, we are here at COTA. This is season 4 of 2025. And this is, yeah, as Ben said, it's the MPG challenge. So what does that mean? 2 times fuel consumption, Ben. 2 times. They're going to have to stop a few times, I think.
Yeah, they will indeed. It's the same length race as we were doing in season 3, but would they get away with a splash and dash for the last 10-15 minutes of the race, they're going to have to take on significant amounts of fuel this time round. So they're going to have to figure out their fuel loads a long way in advance and pay attention to the information they're getting.
Yeah, and what it does do is it opens up the strategy a little bit, because might get some who just fill the car up with enough fuel to do the second stint. You might get other people putting a splash of, not a splash of fuel in it, but a fair amount of fuel in it, and then again doing the same later on to run overall with less fuel. And also, what's the impact on the tyres of running so much fuel across an hour and 5 minute race? Before, it was you only ran for the full tank for the first half of the race, and then you were effectively in quali fuel for the rest of it. So really interesting to see what happens. I must apologise that we're a little bit late to the party this evening. We've missed qualifying, most of qualifying, but we'll run through the grid when we transfer over to the race session. But another thing to say is, Ben, I'm a bit biased in this world, but we've got custom liveries on the grid.
Yes, it's a feature we've all been looking forward to, and there are a good few livery artists who've put their efforts in.
No comment. Yeah, but yes, like for instance, I saw Anton posting up his rocket. This is the area where I'm concerned about me and Ben doing commentary, is that we're going to get stuck in rabbit holes around old school British touring cars. And talking of British touring cars, we have a rocket-inspired Ford Mustang on the track.
It's a looker as well. I've actually got my eyes on that one right now. That is a good-looking car. And I'm not a fan of the Mustang, but yeah, that one I can live with.
There you go. Let's go full Forza Horizon, and but yeah. So this was an update from LMU quite recently, and we tested them last week. We had our socials week break in between the two, season 3 and season 4. And a lot of people have been busy doing their custom liveries and stuff, so it's really nice to see some of those on track today. And it should hopefully avoid the problems that we have sometimes, where 4 cars are using the same livery, which and all with the same number as well. So obviously, anyone using a custom livery for now is using number 397. So that's why you'll see quite a few numbers being 397 on the left-hand side. But in terms of actual visually, we'll be able to visually see the difference. So
yeah, I didn't figure that out when I was designing my own liveries and was trying to figure out how to change the number of the side for ages. It's like, you didn't know, it's just 397. Okay, right, fine.
Well, it looks like I don't think we've got. Oh, I can hear someone on track, but my thing is not having anyone actually on track. So we'll run through the grid in just a second when this flicks over into the race session. But just to say, Christian Sipos, I hope I've got that correct, and if I've got it wrong, please chime up. We can. It's got pole position and by a good distance as well. So, right, let's flick over to. Hopefully, this will flick over to the grid in just a second.
Yeah, grid's starting to fill up as people desperately set their fuel loads and then hit race, I suspect. Now, how many of them will have forgotten that it doesn't change your tyres when you move to the race session now?
Ah, that is a good point. That is a very good point. Um, but well, we'll find out quite quickly, I think. Christian Superson on pole with after Affel on in second. Kiesig in third position, always rapid with Cowley fourth. Matt Townsend in fifth with Alfie Bevan back in sixth, so it's a bit further back than usual. Dave Wood in seventh position with Petter Jelinek in eighth. Chris Downing in ninth with Zach Silver up in 10th position. Then we've got Tyler Hammer in 11th with Alan Axon returning again in 12th. Hovsep Nazarian in 13th with Anton Tomenga with the aforementioned Ford Mustang Rocket livery in 14th. Elvin Blomqvist and Dan Tomlinson make up row 8 of the grid. Then we have Amedio Pagioni in 17th, and David Francesconi in 18th. Tim Bob 19th. Fabio Gilardi in 20th. Big old grid here. I'm going to have a job getting through all of this in time. Christopher Bell, followed by Johan Omlo. And then on row 12, we have Stefan Reinhardt and Frein Doric. Max Farrell and Valerio Poli. Sorry if I'm getting any names wrong for the first time in the championship, but I'm trying. Dave Spiller in 27th with Andy Hearn in 28th. I'm just noticing how strong this grid is. Charlie Morgan back in 29th place. Maybe getting used to the Lexus. Dean Smith. Then we've got Olaf Bedej, Daniel Dehanios, and then Christian Schlink bringing up the rear.
Johannes and Schlink both still in the pits, so they will, if they get out on grid, they will be starting from the pits now, which I'm not sure this is the track to do it if you're going to try it. But they don't seem to be moving, so...
Well, here we go then. We are off. We are off straight into the stream. Going down towards turn 1 then at COTA, and Sipos with a very good start in the lead then. Kiesig coming under pressure from Townsend down the inside. Just pushed a little bit wide there. They're going to Constantina off the track a little bit. Sipos then with the gap. And Kiesig with a really good start up to second, although Townsend's making a move through there. And we've got an incident in the background. I'm not sure. We'll pick up who that was in just a moment. But that looked pretty high speed. There is a lot of runoff there. They might be okay. I think I can just see them rejoining in the background.
Big hit in midfield as well. Dave Woods around just off track.
Yeah, Cowley's a long way back as well here. I just picked up Cowley in the middle, and it looks like Cowley was involved and was one of the cars that went off, but it looks like he's managed to collect it okay. You're right, Dave Wood then. Looks like everything's intact, but yeah, back in 30th position. So it's got a long old way to work back up. So we've definitely got some movers early on with those early issues.
Yeah, Elvin Moncaster down the back as well. Chris Downing is out. He has DNF'd.
Oh, that's a shame.
Big shame. I think he just got hit very hard there by the looks of it.
Well,
but it's all changed at the front. That's got lost out very early on at turn 1. Has dropped down to 4th. Matt Townsend up trying to chase down Sipos in P2.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some replays of what happened at the start. After a couple of laps, we'll let the racing kind of balance out a little bit as they're in this early frantic stage of chasing each other. But to run through, Zach Silver with a really good first lap, then up into 5th position. He's done really well, moving up a few positions. Same with Tyler in 7th. Up from 11th to 7th, so we've got some good movers forward, but obviously at the expense of a few of the drivers at the front. Dave Woods aforementioned. We've also lost Chris Downing unfortunately through a DNF, so we've got I was saying on the grid, and I was kind of rushed, just how good the field is for this. We've got a lot of drivers who are now getting more and more experienced in LMU, and the strength of field here is extremely good for an oNiD season, as we see Baxar having a move up the inside. The grunt of the BMW up at turn 1. Kiesig will try and keep it around the outside, but he's already got the job done. So backside, the BMW 1, 2, 3 at the front, Ben. I did not anticipate that at all.
No, not at all. It's a great all-rounder. It's not one that's really been the car of choice for a lot of people. A few people going to it for this championship, but yeah, it's always been sort of in the middle of where everyone would look at, and but three cars in a row, not really something you could sniff at. First non-BMW is Kiesig back and forth in the Porsche.
Yeah, enough. After that start, our biggest winner actually is Tim Bob, up 10 places from 19th on the grid up to 10th. And also Stefan Reinhardt up 8 places from 23rd to 15th. So some big movers. There's a good fight going on in the middle here. We'll just flick over. Oh, look at that. Straight onto a red livery. I just need to get my overlay working correctly because there should be a little driver thing here. This one? Are you going to work? Yes. Yes.
Maybe.
There we go. God, it's like learning again. This is Nazarian up in 12th position then, right on the back of Alan Axon in front of him for 11th. Nazarian rocking the oNiD Academy livery for this one. Got a little bit of a dink on the rear right if you just spot it downstream. Yep. So he's obviously had a little bit of contact somewhere, but it's starting to settle out. It's actually settling out a little earlier than I thought, actually, to be fair.
Given he's had a dink on the rear and he's in the Porsche, I'm astonished he's still facing the right way. But there's some properly good battles starting to form. Another one I've just had, Dean Smith, Andy Hearn and Olaf Badaj fighting tooth and nail for P24.
Oh, who would help when I look at the right car? There you go. So this is Dean Smith in that. Great to see Dean as a patron. He gets access to the supporter liveries, so that's why you've got a green oNiD car on track. Thank you very much, Dean, for his a year of support now. I think Dean's been a supporter of the oNiD racing community, so fantastic to him. He's got he's got Andy and Olaf bearing down them, but this is a good showing from Dean straight off the bat. He's up in 24th place.
Yeah, and he's pushing onwards. He's picked a very good car. The Lambo is really easy to drive, as much as any of these cars are. So it's a good car to have under, and it's a very good car to try and defend with as well as he goes down through the S's.
Well, he looks like he's got the pace on Andy at the minute. Andy, it looks like he's just struggling a little bit with the aero wash, maybe, because Andy making up his own track there behind. I wonder if that's a cut, because we remember how notorious ACC was for track limits at COTA. I don't think LMU is much easier, so it'll be interesting to see what we get in terms of drive-through penalties and such. I'm just going to flick over to Axon then up to 10th. Tim dropping down to 11th with Hofstep in 12th, but you can see these guys really close. That is glorious, by the way. I hadn't even noticed that Alan was in the Lexus. I am all about this livery. It's a Lexus and it's a rocket-themed livery. Can I get away with showing him for the next 58 minutes? I'm not sure I can probably get away with that. But
I can't stop you for this.
But it looks like he's made up a couple of spots and he's actually pulling away quite nicely from Tim. Tim with Nazarian right on the back of him, going up the inside. Tim choosing his battles, but with a lovely cutback back up the inside. He's going to retain that 11th place through the penultimate corner. And we're going to come through into the last corner. Just a little look, but we've got a spin in front, and I think it's Alan. Oh, no. That's such a tricky place. That's such a tricky place to spin because you've just got so many people coming past. Oh, I think I've jinxed him.
It's early enough as well that he's having to wait for most of the queue to get by him.
Yeah, he's just found a gap, but it does look like he's got some damage on the front bonnet there. The boxy Lexus is not supposed to have those dinks in the front of it, unfortunately. So, as Dean Smith is going to have a look here, but
some revolutionary aero techniques from
yes.
That's I think he is suffering on the front end there from the way it turned in at the hairpin.
Right. So, Sipos is leading by Already leading by 3.8 seconds. Excellent. We're a couple of minutes into the race. I'm going to try and do a replay. You're not going to get a replay overlay transition, but let's try and get a view of what happened at the start. So, the incident's already happened. The incident's already happened, and Chris unfortunately has come round and has found the wall. So
yeah, that will have done a lot of damage. That will pretty much have taken the engine out, I suspect.
Oh yes,
And he's just got straight
Elvin
back
and
to the
Dave.
field.
That's as far back as as I can get, unfortunately. But unless this works, let's see if this works. No, that's not going to work. No, of course not. That would be too sensible. Thank you, LMU.
Yep.
Yeah, that's your best. That's the best. But it looked like Elvin and Dave kind of met in the middle somewhere. So I'm assuming that David already had an issue. And obviously we did see it was Alfie, wasn't it? Was it Alfie? No, sorry, it wasn't Alfie. It was going down my list on the left-hand side in the yellow Lamborghini. I can't remember, but someone went flying off the track and managed to rejoin quite safely. Although I think it was Cowley. I think it might have been Cowley, and you can see Cowley's down in 28th now, so it looks like he's had to have a pit into the pit lane.
I did see him go into the pits earlier, and he did stop, so I suspect that would have been damage repair. And the problem is he's now going to have to commit to another pit stop as well. He won't have burned off anywhere near enough fuel to have taken on fuel to get to the end. So he's got a long way to go back to the next. Oh, Charlie Morgan round.
Oh no. Having a rejoin. Well, I'm glad he's managed to get going again, but just had a little moment. The Lexus can be a bit of a beast to tame, especially when you've got a nice dink in the door like that. I think that probably isn't helping matters.
I've heard it's a little bit of a handful. I know it's one of your preferred cars.
So, yes, the Lexus is my preferred vehicle, and it's understeer on entry and then very killy mid-corner. So if that's your sort of thing, then please feel free to choose the Lexus. I realise I'm not selling it very well. But
don't take a job as a Lexus salesman. It's not going to work.
I think Alfie might be carrying a little bit of damage from the contact early, but Anton doing really well, working his way through the order. Nice switch back. Although Alfie is going to have the inside here, he might try the undercut. He's going to try around the outside, which is pretty brave if he can make that work.
A little bit of a door.
That was a bit naughty. I think he's letting him go. Look, so Alfie doing the right thing there. We have some pretty strong rules because we're not Formula One, we're not the FIA. We do have some overlap rules when it comes to leaving space to other cars on the outside, and Alfie doing the right thing there and letting Anton have it. To be fair, it does look like Anton's got the pace in him, so it might be in the best interest anyway to just slot into the slipstream and try and gain some pace. Do you want to talk about F1 rules while we're talking about this, Ben? Because I think that could take up 53 minutes of our conversation.
Do we have to? see how many of them break while they're trying to slow down. Whether it's 50 psi or 200, you know. So, just, yeah. We try and apply common sense as much as you can when we come to our rules, but sometimes people will take things into their own hands and give places back, like Alfie just did, which is always nice.
It's nice to see that after doing the iRacing 24 at the weekend with about, 9 of us in the two teams, and some of the driving standards on show were pretty entertaining, let's say. So it's nice to get back into this as... that's a really nice Francesconi. I'm going to get it right eventually. Makes the move on Tim. It looks like Tim's quite happy just driving his own race, which is absolutely fair enough. It might have been a slowdown there. We've got a spinner in the background. I think that's Nazarian his rounds.
Yeah, off the track in the...
I think he's got away with it. Nice little 360. I've lost quite a lot of time, but... straight onto the back of the pack again. So I think I feel like Tim Bob's in his he's doing what he needs to do. He's doing his pace, and he's not worried if
You
faster
might
people
want to
come
jump
past.
to P14 because they're going 3 wide.
Oh my words!
Down into the hairpin. They just went either side of Max Farrell.
Oh, lovely. Lovely from Max on the brakes on the Porsche in front, though, so he does get past Stefan Doric, latching onto the back of Pagani in the Lexus. Good to see so many Lexus. Is that a move in behind? I think it is from the BMW. Ghilardi making a place up on Jet. No, that's my timing tower throwing a wobbly. That was also on. It's not on Doric.
Friend Doric. Yeah, it would have been Fred. No, it was Friend Doric.
Yes. It's confusing because I drove last season and everybody's changed cars, so the usual cars are not the usual people anymore. Is Doric then making an early pit stop?
Oh, that was a bit tight. I think he just about made it onto the pit limiter there. There was some sharp braking towards the end of that run into the pits.
I'm just going to go and have a little look back at... it hasn't actually picked up the Nazarian incident, which is interesting. It might have picked it up through someone else. Oh, no.
I'm curious as to why Doric has actually... He might be committing to a 2-stop here. In fact, he'll definitely be committing to a 2-stop with 51 minutes to go.
That was a replay there of Christopher Bell with the spin. I was hoping it was going to show me a little bit of the carnage ahead, but it's decided it doesn't want to, so...
So I'm sounding very boring, but I'm just watching how long Fred Doric is in the pits for. To try and estimate whether he's repairing or whether he's taking... He's definitely doing a full service. He's done tyres. He's back to 100% virtual energy. Yeah, he's repairing damage. He's definitely taking some bangs there. He gets out Joran Omlo as well, takes a stop in the blue Mustang. There's a few people looking to vary up their strategy.
I think if you can run far enough into the race and you have picked up some damage, this does allow you the opportunity, like we used to have with ACC, didn't we? We had quite a lot of it where we only had the one stop without a pit window, without a timer. So people, if they had an issue after a little bit, could go. I think I'm struggling because the overlay has decided that it wants to show the replay forever. And so you're going to get a natural replay of the 3 wide. This is not live. This is me scrabbling around trying to fix it.
I mean, it's a great moment, but it's... There's a big cluster of cars down into...
See, my problem is now I'm trying to work out what's live and what's not. And I know this isn't live, and I think I've broken it. No.
Oh, no, I think you're good. I think you're live.
No, it's saying replay active. So this is not...
No, Dave Wood going into turn 1. That's...
Yeah?
Yeah, that's live.
All right, well, Sam's going to be having some words. I'm not touching the replay button again, Ben. All right. If something happens, we're going to have to catch it on screen, I'm afraid, because yeah.
Oh god. One day things will go perfectly for an oNiD stream. It's not going to be today.
It is worth saying Sam's built this tool for us, which is excellent. So the LMU broadcast controls are not great. If anybody's tried to use it, you know this. Yes, he's done a fantastic job with the tool, and to be fair, I have tried to get my PC working at short notice with it working, so I will blame myself.
If we can change without things exploding, Tim Bob is being the cork in a Lamborghini-shaped cork in the bottle down in P9, holding off 3 cars who are all trying to get past him. But I think Dan Tomlinson's got the move on him there. Well, maybe not. Tim on the inside of the horseshoe.
Ooh, super close to the back of it. You see how much more grip the McLaren has through there than the Lamborghini, so maybe this isn't the Lamborghini's perfect track.
No.
But just going to look to the outside. And we know Tim's nice and fair, will give him the space, but Dan just runs out a little bit. He's going to lose the place to Francesconi. I'm going to get that eventually. And he's also coming under threat from Reinhardt in the Aston, who's having a fantastic run through the field from 23rd. Up the inside.
All those cars behind him look so much more confident on the brakes into turn one than Tim's looking at the moment. But I don't think he's done that much time in this car in full-on racing, so it's especially not in racing with this sort of crowd. So it's he's definitely putting in a stint here, defending from this slot. He wants them all to start fighting just to leave it alone for a bit.
Well, it's a lot different to having 15 minutes to get one lap in with no fuel in the car to trying to drive for 65 minutes, thinking about strategy, looking after the tyres, you know, not making a mistake lap after lap. It is very difficult. As Dan having a look at the outside, it looks very good on the brakes. He's gonna run out of space there. I don't think that was. I think he was trying to set up the straight, but it looks like it's actually Francesconi is actually in the toe of the car in front as Max Farrell is sandwiched in between Alexis and Stefan after making a place up past that. So Stefan's just lost 2 places. Oh, lovely camera. Oh, we like that.
Oh, that's nice. That group just behind Tim Bob nearly broke away, but then he's losing a little bit of pace through this third sector, and they're all bunching right back up again as they come towards the end of the lap. Oh, but Tim gets run wide. Gonna have the inside. He's pushing the edge of his grip there. He's really struggling to get the car turned in.
Dan had to take some affirmative action as it was there because he had so much of a run, but they did well not to connect in the middle of the corner. Let's see if Dan can control it on the brakes this time. He can. Tim just losing a bit of traction. I think that's going to let Pugioni through as well. The power of the Lexus out the corner, hooking into the toe of the McLaren in front as well. So Tim doing what he needs to do though, keeping it in one piece right now. He doesn't want to be getting caught up in this.
Yeah, tried to get back on the inside of Pugioni, but just didn't quite have the run off the corner to stay in there.
Well, I just wanted to show Tyler up to 6th place with overall, but Anton catching him up then in the Mustang, so up into 7th place. Alfie definitely suffering a bit. I'm not sure why, but in 8th position, 36 seconds off the leader. So obviously struggling tonight. Don't know whether it's the track, the car, that has some damage or what, but he's in 8th place with a fairly sizable gap in front to Anton as well. Anton's pulled out a 13-second gap to him. So
he's tried the Lambo before. It's not a new car to him, but it just doesn't seem to have the pace around here tonight. One problem is I can't tell how much VE the Lambo has, because the only way I can check is by looking on the camera to see if it's on their dashboard, and the Lambo doesn't have it on there on mine. So it's so I don't know how much fuel Alfie's still carrying, and whether this is just fuel saving to try and extend his stint a bit.
No, exactly. That is a good point. We're not totally sure how long the cars can go on 2 full tanks. With some fuel saving, because it's double usage, technically your fuel, your lift and coast, for instance, is twice as effective, kind of, because you're saving twice the amount of fuel. So it is interesting to see how many people are going to try and play around with the fuel saving. Otherwise, I do think it would be a 2-stop race.
Well, we've done 22 minutes so far, give or take. And the 2 guys at the front, CPOS is at 15% VE and Townsend is at 17%, but he's looping round. Oh, got away very lucky them. That's let Atul Bhaskar back up into P2.
Yes, and the fight of the BMWs has flipped round. So it was obvious Matt was obviously pushing. He was obviously pushing to try and maintain that gap behind Baksar. Baksar up to second then. First showing in the BMW, doing really well. Does appear to be a bit of a BMW track, at least for the top three. We don't want to put it fully down to the car, because we know that Matt and Athel are both very quick. It's the first time we've seen Sipos in the race, if I'm not mistaken. He looks rapid as well. So, but these three in the BMW got an 11-second lead, back to Christian in fourth position.
Yeah, he is one of the Supos is one of the new names we're seeing. So we're seeing a few new names in with us. It's always good to see, especially for a new championship. So it's a very strong crowd, but with a few unknown quantities in there as well.
Well, it says a lot that we've got some of our drivers who were consistently getting in the top 10 last season, who are quite a bit down the order. There has been a few stops here and there, so we know that Cowley, for instance, has been in the pits. And we know that Alan, Stefan Stow pitted, Elvin, and Fran, they've all been in the pit lane. So they've already taken that early stop and are working their way back through. But yeah, it just shows the quality of the field that... yeah, we're just
drawing people in. It's going to be, the way it's going, I think it's going to be a very entertaining season.
Ooh. So we just saw, so Tyler's lost out to Anton somewhere and just met an Aston Martin, who is lapping, but it has just come out of the pit lane, so was probably on the inside there. So that's 25 minutes. We've got some people pitting for fuel, we assume. Quite a few people are in after 25 minutes, which is on for a two-stop. Realistically, if you wanted not to pit twice, you're going to have to make it to what, 32 minutes before 32, 33. So
yeah, that's not doable on these fuel settings at all. Because we've got Cepos coming around the first hairpin now. He started the lap with 10%. He's down to 3.9% VE.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So we've got quite a few people, and we've got Tim in, we've got Dan in, Hovsep also in the pit lane. So 34-second pit stops, 35 seconds. So it looks like just brimming it for most of these drivers. I'm sure if they think they're in traffic, though, they could take a bit of fuel out and maybe put some more in later if they think they can get out of the traffic. But right now, they are going. Our leader still is not in. Is he going to come in here? Yes, he is. So
yeah, doesn't have a choice. He's on 2% virtually.
Oh, okay, there you go. So that's about the limits then. Do you know what Alfie's on then, for instance?
I can't tell what Alfie's on because he's on the Lambo. But I imagine it's going to be similar. Everyone around there's around the same amount.
Yeah, these are difficult cars. I found it when I'm driving them. I found it easier to fuel save, or virtual energy save actually, in the hypercars over the GT3s. So these can be quite difficult since the update with the heavy reliance on lift and coast. So
the highest runner is our new leader, Christian Kiesig, who's still got 20% VE.
Wow.
So I don't think we've seen him.
What engine map's he in? No, no, he hasn't pitted. I don't. No, he has not pitted. Confirmed.
He's got to have fuel saved.
Yes, he was 20 odd seconds off the lead, and we're used to Christian being obviously further up than that. So
I think Max Farrell has made a critical error in that he's carried on. He's only got 2.4% VE left.
Oh dear, Max, what are you doing? Have you forgotten to pit? Okay. Oh no.
Yeah, that's not going to go well for him.
But you can see on the order, there's still quite a few cars in the pit lane. The shortest pit stop I can see was 31 seconds for Badesh, compared to the kind of average, which was about 38 seconds, it looks like, for a max fuel. Oh, Max, that's not going to help with the fuel save.
Yeah.
Just watch out for this. I don't think anyone's coming over the hill just yet, apart from that Mustang.
There's no way Max is getting back to the pits. He's on 0.4% VE.
So we're fully expecting the
gonna-
dreaded drive-through.
It's straight
it's nice
to stop
go, isn't it? Stop go 30 for that.
Yeah.
So I do wonder how much fuel he's got in it. Maybe he was looking at the fuel and he's like, "Oh, I've got loads of fuel."
It might be he's got a little bit of reservoir on the actual fuel.
Because it's worth pointing out to anyone that hasn't driven these cars that you can set a fuel ratio for your VE. So different drivers could actually run different amounts of fuel to do the same distance. Obviously, having the less is better to be lighter. But yeah, if you've overgone on the fuel ratio and you're just looking at your fuel going, "Oh, I've got loads of fuel left," but actually your VE is also ×2 effectively.
Yeah.
So
The VE is essentially the balance of performance for the cars. It sets a approximate stint time, so everyone will be coming in around the same time, depending on whether you can save fuel.
Zach's done a good job here of saving some fuel. So he saved a couple of laps there, and now he's on his way out. So this is going to pay off for him later on. He should be able to have a slightly shorter stop.
He might have picked. It might be that Zach, Townsend, and Baskar have all picked CPOS in the pits.
I wondered if CPOS took tyres, but
I can only assume.
I can't see, for whatever reason, I can't see a pit stop time for CPOS. So I'm not sure why. I cannot see for all the other, most of the other cars, I can see a stop timer, and I can't for him. So I'm wondering if he took tyres, maybe.
Might well have done. It would explain how he's ended up this much further back. It's 12 seconds for a set of tyres, isn't it? Because it does them one at a time, and it does it after the fuel has gone in.
So, and he's 10 seconds behind Backside. So Backside does look like he's taken a slightly shorter stop. No, actually, it's about the same than others. So, yeah, interesting strategy. But this is why we're here. It is showing that Christian has requested his pit stop. Let's see if this is actually showing correctly. It is not. So he's going on again. He's doing a very good job here. His last pit stop is going to be so short.
He's going to be very tight on energy to get round this time.
Yes, I'm wondering if he's testing for the rest of the season to see just how far he can go on one stint. He is very close to being able to do one stop, by the way, because I just forgot that it's a 65-minute race. It's not a 60-minute race, so he's actually done 31 minutes. Christian is right on the bubble of being able to just do the one stop here.
If he can make it to the end of this lap without getting himself a stop go, which is going to be a bit tenuous, he's going to be in the window for it.
Well, the stops are going to be shorter for the second round of stops. They are going to be a lot shorter because they're going to be putting in a lot less fuel. They're only going to be putting in probably about 10 minutes worth of fuel, but it's the trundle down the pit straight that's the problem. So I'm not sure how much time people are going to lose in the pit lane, but if we can save a stop, that's got to be a good 25 seconds, 30 seconds.
Definitely, yeah. Well, it's a minimum of... No, it's not a minimum once you stop, isn't it? It's going to be a good 10-15 seconds stop for the fuel. But that's long pit lane.
It is a long pit lane. Well, I mean,
obviously
Christian lost a lot of... Let's be fair, Christian lost a lot of time in that first stint with the fuel saving. So it'd be interesting to see if he's got on top of that and he's now worked out a more efficient way of doing it. And see if that equals out later.
2% virtual, 1.6% virtual energy. Coming around the horseshoe, so he's got one more turn before the pit lane.
Just take
He
your
is
foot off the
not
throttle.
going full throttle.
No. That is a definite, I'm going to lift to make sure I make it. This is also praying that there's not an extra lap at the end as well. We haven't actually factored that in. So this is going to be so close to being able to do one stop.
Crossed the line, the pit entry line, with 0.4% virtual energy on the dashboard. He's timed that perfectly.
Well, we don't need to watch him in the pits because we know that he's just going to be brimming this. He's going to be filling that up with as much fuel as he can get away with. So Sipos then, Christian Sipos in fourth. He'll work his way back up to third because Christian's in the pit lane. But yeah, so Baxar is going to become our de facto leader, still with a lead of about 8 seconds. Back to Sipos. Matt Townsend is only a couple of seconds behind Athol, so it is close at the front. And with the current lap times, Sipos is looking. You can visually see that he's actually catching up quite a bit now.
Yeah, he is a very, very. We've got another fast person who's come in.
I know,
we?
I don't like it.
Every time. Why can't slow people join us? This is what we get for putting.
I know, what are we doing?
Series on, isn't it?
So Christian out of the pit lane, out behind Zach. So Zach's done a good job. Zach's really done a good job, actually. I'm not trying to sound too surprised, but he's only 10 seconds off the leader, and he does need a much shorter pit stop at the end. Christian comes out 18 seconds off the lead, so he was originally, 30 odd seconds behind the overall leader. So I think he'll be feeling pretty good there of coming out there.
Zombie Vision chat. Hey, I wanted to join, but all the spots were filled. Fair. That's fair.
This one filled up. I think this was the first to fill up. So yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
People love the Monday night LMU.
And with good reason, if we're honest. It's putting on some great racing.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast doing this last season. Really good fun. It was nice to properly get into Le Mans Ultimate, and it's really good that we're running. How many days are we running it? 3 different series. Yeah, 3 different series we run on here now. It's on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So
the AC lads and the iRacing lads are just going. Well, there's a lot of Le Mans Ultimate going around at the moment.
Well, there'll be more when we get the Enduros working.
Definitely. I am looking forward to those. First time I actually take part in an Enduro. There is. Well, if you want a handicap, I'm always around, you know. Tim Bob down in P12 is still fighting tooth and nail with multiple cars. He's got Pulley and
P12. Yes, here we go. Yes.
Right on his back. That's a move from Petter to the inside. Oh, yeah, nicely done.
Very nicely on the brakes there, wasn't he? Very confident on the brakes. Got it stopped. Right onto the back of Tim as well. So Polly drops to 14th, but still a good showing for their first oNiD event for me. So looking good. Just having a little look at the inside, but I think that's more their normal racing line more than anything else. I'm just having a look through the order. Towards the back, we've still got Elvin and Dave are still trying to work their way through. Dave has had 1 stop so far, but still working his way through. Elvin has actually stopped twice, a place ahead of him. So I'm wondering if he's had some more damage. Also, Cowley is showing as 2.
Yeah, but he did an early stop for repairs as well.
He did. So he's still up in 16th place. So not bad at all. Petter's just stopped as well.
Dave, I suspect, is about to come in for his second stop because he's on 3.5% VE.
Right, okay. And he did have a pretty sizable stop for damage. I can see on his last pit stop. Yeah, 1 minute 43 was his last pit stop. So that explains. Fair play to Dave, Max and Charlie, all of whom have obviously had some issues and are a bit further behind, but still continuing. We've had 3 we've had 4 retirements so far. We've had sorry, 2, because those 2 didn't start. So we actually have Puglioni and Chris Downing are our 2 DNFs. The thing with the hosted servers, the new entry system, Ben, is that all the cars will show in the server whether they're here or not, just to confuse me. So
I wonder what happened to Puglioni, because they were in the middle of that big fight, weren't they?
they were, and I haven't seen anything come up from a crash point of view on the replay button, so I'm
yeah,
wondering.
they've had a disconnect.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that would be more technical, because that was only recently in the last few laps, wasn't it?
Yeah, found them on the replay. The car just glided off into the universe.
That's a shame.
That's a big pity, because they were having a good... It looked like they were having fun, frankly. I think we're starting to get a fight forming for the lead here. Townsend is starting to close down Atul Bhaskar.
So let's go on board with Matt. So yeah, Matt's... Oh, no, that's not on board with Matt. That's on board with Matt. That's the correct button. Yeah, it's visually, and you can see Sipos as well. 3 seconds behind Bhaskar now, so he's really closing up. Is that a 2:07 for his last lap? Surely not. I think my overlay's having a bit of a moment. But
yeah, my overlay's having a bit of a moment, because it's showing Sipos in 3rd behind Zach Silver, who's in 4th.
Okay.
It's going well.
There's a few glitches. It's fine. But this is... go on.
Pretty sure the top 3 haven't lapped everyone up to 4th.
No, I don't think they have. I can see, though, that Bhaksar's last lap was a 2:10. Townsend was in the 2:09s. But the rate that Christian's catching in 3rd, maybe a 2:07. But it's definitely the fastest lap so far is a 2:07.9 from Sipos, which, given we think he put new tyres on, I think is sensible. Yeah. I think that makes sense.
And he's definitely in 3rd now, because he just put the move on Zach Silver, goes up the inside of turn 1 and closes out the Lamborghini on the run down into the S's.
Are you a little bit behind?
I think I might be, actually, yeah. Oh, I know what happened. I went back on the replay. I'm an idiot.
You've done what I did with the assist.
I look at what happened to Puglioni.
Well, to be fair, I think Sipos, with the tyre change, at the time, obviously, it's quite a substantial deficit, but the track temp's 43 degrees centigrade. I mean, it is a hot track today, 65-minute race, making the tyres last. If you're more on the aggressive side with the driving, then taking those tyres, you must feel that you'll be able to make that up, as you can see how much Bhaksar struggling through the faster opening section of the lap. Matt really closing onto the back, and you can see in the rear view mirror that the 3rd BMW is joining the party.
Right there. And it's not going to be long before he is, and they're coming into a lot of lap traffic here. So that badge gets out the way very early, sticks to the outside round the hairpin, wants none of that.
I do exactly the same. Yeah. Please go through. Take all the track you want.
Depends on how much you flash your lights at me as to how cooperative I am.
Yes. Yeah, the more you flash your lights at me, the less likely I am to be really nice to you. Yeah. Tyler's taking an early pit stop, and so has Alan Axon as well. So both of them have been in for what we can assume, or what I think we can assume, is their last pit stop. Unless they've had a drive-through. I can't see if they've had a drive-through, but I don't know if you're able to see any pop up, but I don't think any have yet.
No, nothing yet. I think they're trying an early stop to undercut to the end.
Yeah, because if you feel like you've got a bit of traffic, or you're in a lot of traffic, maybe lapping traffic, taking that early stop. Oh, well avoided. A Lexus across the middle of the track. I'm not entirely sure which Lexus it was, but yeah, that was an excellent avoidance from Athel, and that has Matt Townsend did really well to avoid it as well, but that has put Sipos right on the back of him, up the inside at turn 1. If the camera will please swap, thank you. And he is going to make the move. Matt will slot in behind. So that was an incident in front and 2 lap Lamborghinis all at once.
Yep, a little bit of a door bang on the way through, but if there's one car you can get away with a door bang in, it's the BMW.
God bless
Basically
the box.
just an oversized touring car.
Yes. See, I get called boring for being in a Lexus GT3 because it's not a GT3, as some people tell me. Tell me that, and tell me that BMW is a GT3. Come on now.
100%. You could put Jake Hill on that and it'd be 100% at home straight away.
Yes. I think Christian is... Oh, he's actually having a look. So, just a bit deep from Athel on the brakes. Lets him through by the look of it. And Sipos up into the lead. I thought he was just going to sit behind him. But he's obviously in a hurry. He wants to get cracking to build up that lead again. So, from being thirds and catching a lap ago, Sipos now up into the lead.
Realistically, these guys are all going to be coming in within a lap of each other as well. They're all pretty much on the same VE. So this is a straightforward pace race to the finish now. So 39%, it's about 10% of the lap. So the next 4 laps, by lap 25, they will all have to come in.
Well, the other 5, obviously, we've got Townsend on the back of Baxter. We've also got Tamenga catching Christian. So we know Christian is trying the fuel save. Tamenga up into 5th place. Excellent effort from him today. From, where was he on the grid? 14th on the grid. So he's doing fantastic work up into 5th and looking lively for 4th. Obviously, he is going to stop again. So this is kind of not really for position, as it were. But he's closing in on Kiesig. Alfie Bevan is now solidified into 6th place, and Reinhardt is our biggest winner so far in the race, up 16 positions from 23rd on the grid. He's currently circulating in 7th. He did take a bit of an earlier pit stop to maybe get out the traffic, and it's worked wonders for him actually, which is what we're saying about the different strategies.
I think Christian Kiesig could be a dark horse in this one. You know, he has got a 30% energy advantage over the 3 cars in front, and he's only what,
24 seconds. Yeah, lead. He's definitely more on pace in the second stint, I feel like, compared to that first one. He did get caught up in a few little bits, didn't he, at the start? So yeah, if he's able to keep this pace up and he's able to get to the end without a stop, then this is surely the race
on this one. He could put himself right into this lead battle while these 3 guys are fighting. Well, it's not much of a fight with Seapos. He'd run off into the distance again already.
Yeah, the battle is mainly behind us. We see Matt Townsend really on the back of Baxar. Remember, Matt was in front of Baxar before the first stop, before making a slight mistake, having a little spin. But he has caught back up and is now fighting for that 2nd place. And well, if Kiesig can keep his run going and keep that fuel use under control, doesn't get the extra lap maybe, this could be the fight for 3rd overall rather than 2nd.
He is still doing a touch of fuel saving. There is a bit of lift and coast before he's hitting the brakes. So I think he's got it worked out. He's keeping an eye on that fuel meter and he's got his numbers in his head that he's driving to. So it could work for him.
Yeah, it really could. We've got, this is Hofstep on the back of Andy Hearns, so an inter oNiD fight. Hofstep in the academy car, and Andy, one of the fabled oNiD admins, in the McLaren. He's done a good job as well. Andy is up 15 places. 15 places. Excellent work from him. And looking very solid in the McLaren. And we did see that Nazarian did have a bit of a spin earlier, but he seems to have recovered quite nicely, and he's on the march now on the back of Andy. So this is where you might see someone decide, if they think they've got the space behind them, just to pop into the pit lane a couple of laps early, and try and jump them in the pit lane. Because that's one thing we didn't actually mention, because of the warm-up. It's quite a warm track, so Sipos with the new tyres didn't have much of a issue warming his tyres up. But that
No.
might be an issue when we talk later, in later races, where as it goes up the inside, Hofstep having a look, Andy giving him plenty of space on the inside, and nice move from Hofstep. Let's see if Andy's going to have a little go. Not quite close enough, and I think he's just going to slot in as we've got a spinner in front.
Max Farrell is around. Plenty of space to get himself back on track there, thankfully. He's not having the best of days, is Max. That stop go has killed his race.
But this is where we're starting to see the drivers who are maybe better at looking after the tyres, maybe in a car that looks after the tyres a bit better, where they're really starting to come through. You can see down the order, I know you can't see on the stream, but you can see on some of the last lap figures that some drivers are really picking up the pace compared to those in front of them as Nazarian. Then a lap earlier than I said, but he is in with 16 minutes to go.
James Cowley down in P25 has a drive-through.
So can we assume that is track limit? It could be track limits, could be... He's just been in the pit lane again, has he? So
it might be that he was a little bit late on that pit limiter into the lane. And we might see a couple of those still.
Yeah, it's one of those tricky little entrances, isn't it? Because the line is pretty early and it's a left-hand 90-degree entrance into the pit lane. So kind of like Kailami. Which,
it just appears in front of you.
The notorious Kailami, where many people have got stung by that one on the different sims, because the pit lane's in a different place on all the different sims.
Oh, Townsend with a big snap, and Bascar's right back on him as a result.
Did I miss Matt get past?
I think we might have done.
I think we might have done. Sorry, Matt.
It's all right, because I think they're about to at the rate they're going, I think they're about to reset the order anyway.
Yeah, I think they're about to have a part 2 as we're coming up to more a distraction, I think, than anything. That we're going to go on to the long back straight, the longest straight on the calendar, aside from Le Mans, obviously, which doesn't really count. They're not really straights. The whole track's are straight. But yeah, this is notoriously one of the longest straights in Formula 1.
Imagine what your marketing department has to think when you're thinking, yeah, let's talk about how long our straight is.
Beijing Grand Prix, cough, cough.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think Matt might have got away with it. He did have a big snap through the S's, but I think he's just about got away with it and is able to hold Apple off behind him.
It's the first time we've seen Dave, I think. So Dave started 27th up to 14th, defending from Reinhardt and Zach Silver, both of whom have pitted. So Zach actually pitted earlier than we anticipated there, didn't he? Because he was one of the last to pit. But he's obviously using that pace, and he's just made 2 positions down one straight. Dave just running out a little bit. And Reinhardt's going to make the position up there. But Dave in his own race here compared to these two. I think these two have already done 2 stops and are working their way back through. So he did well there just to avoid any incident.
100%. Oh, big snap from Zach there, but he's able to catch it. I think you can definitively say that he's not fuel saving. He is pushing hard to try and get himself in amongst that top 3 once they get their stops out the way, I suspect.
I'm wondering if my overlay's right. It's showing that Zach had quite a long pit stop, so I'm wondering if he'd had a little incident somewhere. Maybe that's why he pitted earlier. So just to be aware of that.
Might have gone tyres and fuel for the last stint, give himself just go full attack on the last run. The top 3 have all ticked under 10% VE, so they will have to be in realistically this lap.
How is Christian looking on his VE?
He is at 45% VE.
So I know it's got double usage, but that sounds fairly good to me.
I think that's doable. I think he's still fuel saving a bit, but he's only dropped about another 5 seconds since we last checked back in with him. And with the length of pit lane and the fact that these guys are going to have to come in from virtually empty. So if they are pushing right up until the end of their VE to maximise their stints, they're going to have to be very careful on the last lap in.
Oh, that was a dink. I heard that from here. I was just trying to see if the VE energy remaining button was working again, but it's not, unfortunately.
Sipos is in the pits.
Right, so this is interesting then. So Sipos in. This will be effectively a splash.
All three.
It's
top three all in.
Yeah, so I assume there won't be any tyres here, or unless Matt or Baxar think it's worth a gamble for the last 12 minutes if they're struggling on tyres. But this isn't going to be a lot of fuel that goes in. Well,
Sipos missed his pit box.
It's 2 times usage, so it will be actually. There'll still be a fair amount of fuel going into these cars.
59% Sipos is coming out with.
59%. So Kiesig then takes the lead of the race, just meeting some lap traffic on the coming out of the pit lane.
And now he's going to have to push. But if he pushes too hard, he is going to run that fuel right down.
Well, Christian's last lap was a 2:11. We did see that he did have some traffic, so let's say he's actually in the 2:10s. Sipos was running about 2 seconds a lap faster than that at times, between 1 and 2 seconds a lap. So I think this is going to be very close.
The consistency from Christian for the last 6 laps: 2:11.2, 2:11.0, 2:11.2, 2:11.3, 2:11.2 invalidated, and then a 2:11.1. He is banging in those 2:11s, but Christian can now push right to the finish. He can go maximum attack.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, is Christian will be having to keep to his schedule of his lift and coast. You know, he'll be really ingrained into this after 55 minutes of doing it. You know, he's bound to be really on the ball with it, but you're right in the sense that the others behind can now really push on. Sipos also having newer tyres as well. I mean, they have just done a stint, but we've got to remember that he has put on a new set of tyres, or we think he's put on a new set of tyres in that first stop, so his tyres are going to be in a much better position than the cars around him by the end of this one. So Elvin coming into the pit lane. Good comeback, considering the very, very early stop that he had to have.
Yeah. He's made it up from pretty much stone dead last to, once I find him on my timing screen, 18th place. So it's not a bad run, really. Oh, Andy Hearn with a stop go.
Oh no. Is that speeding? VE related?
VE, it's got to be. I think he must have run his VE down to 0.
Oh, Andy. Well, that's going to send him back a bit then. He's currently in the pit lane, I'm assuming, putting enough fuel in it. Yeah, and then he'll be back round for stop go, unfortunately. So that'll be
no,
Andy.
that was the stop go.
Oh, that was the stop go. Oh my word. Yeah. Okay.
Back out, still 23rd. He's still holding on, but I don't know whether Dave Wood's a lap down to Andy or whether he's.
No, that is for position. If they are having a scrap,
right on top of each other.
Oh, where's Andy?
He's
not quite as close as we thought.
No, Dave. He's got the S's in between them.
Oh, we'll have to flick that back if they get close, because that'll be entertaining. I can imagine that in voice chat tonight. We pick up a nice close fight, so we've got Gardo, Dave Spiller and Polly all fighting position. That's Dave going down the inside in front, making the move, although very wide. It's going to come on. He's probably going to lose. Oh, he's lost the one spot, hasn't lost two. So probably in behind him.
This is all playing into Christian Kiesig's hands because they're holding up
Yeah,
Matt Townsend.
that is the, yeah, this is the leaders having to fight their way through all this traffic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I would say, I mean, Sipos is still 10 seconds behind Christian. So, oh, that's a bold one round the outside to get the lap done, but Matt does it. Yeah, the gap is still 10 seconds.
Yep.
With 7 minutes to go. So he's
Christian has started banging in the 210s as well all of a sudden.
As he works out that he's got a bit more fuel than he thought. Because obviously, he's going to be forward planning, isn't he? Am I going to have, how many laps have I got? Because if there's one less lap than he thinks, that's a lot of fuel left to be able to use and push a little bit more, you know?
25. It's about a 2 and a bit minute lap.
So he's got 4 laps.
Yeah.
And what are we looking at in the VE? What's he at? 20?
25% exactly.
Yeah, he probably has worked out that
he's got a bit of gap to work with, so it's going to be very tight. But if he can hold onto that gap, he might be able to pull off a blinder here. This is one place he definitely can't lift and coast. It's down the back straight.
Yeah, his last lap, he suddenly picked up the pace by half a second. So you are very correct. Wow. Well, we don't want to jinx him just yet because there's still 5 minutes to go and a lot of fuel to burn up. This is Dave going round. He's showing. He has caught up Andy, look. So that is Andy in the red. That is him getting lapped by the Mustang. Dave thought about it and then quickly realised that probably wasn't... You don't want to be taking out one of the bosses.
Yeah. it looked like the Mustang clipped the front of the car as they were turning in. It half turned him and Dave went, nope, back straight out. He has got the run now.
Yeah, hell of a slipstream there. He's getting a double toe. But Andy very late on the brakes, trying to hold it around the outside. Very nice. Andy's obviously learnt from the last couple of times he's been alongside that you can use that wider line. He's going to have the tighter line through the right, but then he's going to lose out here on the outside. If Dave can get it stopped, a little wiggle on the brakes, but he does get it done. And Andy will try and stick to the back of him, but Dave has hurtled up to the back of Andy there, so... Dave up to 23rd after the shenanigans early on.
You'd think of the two cars, the Beamer's definitely going to be punching the bigger hole in the air than the Barra. So you might be able to hang on to the back of him as they come onto the main straight.
It was like on iRacing when you were following... No, sorry, ACC, wasn't it? When you were following the Bentley. Everything seemed to get a couple of miles an hour faster because of the size of the bloody thing.
It's like a cruise ship punching a hole in the air for you.
This is Stefan on the back of David. This is the fight for the top 10. So both of these drivers well up the order from where they started 18th and 23rd respectively. Both putting in good laps and fighting with, 3 minutes to go. So... Really good racing from these two, very close. Tomlinson looks like he's gapped them now, so looks like 9th's fairly secure for him. And Zach with the longer stop looks like he's going to have to settle for 8th, which is still respectable, but... I
think he'd have been hoping for more from that strategy call, but it's just not quite worked out for him.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what happened. What happened to him, why he's... a bit further back than he was anticipating. The gap at the front, 7 seconds.
He's pulled a lot of time in there.
Yeah, so he was 1.2 seconds faster on the last lap. They are about to start the penultimate lap. So Kiesig then crossing the line, 2 laps to go. I'm assuming he's safe on fuel and VE.
13% VE. So he's using about 6% less a lap. That's some heroic fuel saving on the car.
So how much are the others using?
He was using about 10% a lap. 6% was probably an exaggeration. It's probably more like 4 to 5, in between 4 and 5% less.
Is he using the throttle?
I'm not entirely sure. He's definitely letting off a lot through the S's and coasting through them.
Because on other sims you can play around with engine modes, but with this LM GT3 car, there is two. All the cars have two engine modes. One which is race, and one which is not race. Safety car. That's not going to get you far.
No. I don't think anyone's ever touched the safety car. I don't even know if it actually works.
I think it does. But, it would be a good way of saving fuel, but it would also be a good way of doing 3-minute lap times around COTA, I assume. So, but he's doing a fantastic job in the lead. 6 seconds in the lead now. So the gap is coming down, but if he can make this work to the end, it looks like he should be able to do it. He's got his laps predicted bang on. Absolutely bang on.
Yeah, he might just save just enough that he can absolutely go for a fast lap on the last one, and then just secure that place. Let's see what he manages to come across the line with.
He hasn't got too much traffic ahead either, so.
Apparently, he could do with someone who's trying to set a bit of pace to give him a bit of slipstream, help him fuel
follow him around.
Comes across the line with about 7% VE. He is lifting and coasting and fuel saving up the hill.
I think he's probably, when you're so ingrained into the lift and coast, you don't know just how much you could use up by going full beans, and if going full beans or trying to get a fast lap would probably take him over. So he's probably doing the sensible thing here, and just you can see Sipos in the background though there through the S's, so the gap is down to 4 seconds, but I think Christian here looks like he's got this sewn up as long as he can just get to the end on the fuel, keeping this pace, and he doesn't have any issues with lap traffic. I think the other thing, obviously, with you usually will get less track limits as well when you're driving in this way, because you're not driving to the extreme. So I'm doubtful that he's anywhere close on track limits, etc.
He only used 2% VE in the first sector.
It's impressive.
That's really...
See, this is the thing now. He's showing everyone that it can be done, at least in COTA. We don't know about the other tracks and the other 5 races, whether it can be done, but people will wake up and go, oh, okay, it's a feasible strategy. If you practice it, then it looks like it can be done.
It's going to be very tight. He's on 2.7 as he comes into sector 3. Just about 4 seconds back.
I would apologise to everyone and say, look, I'm sorry I'm not showing you massive action for the last 2 laps, but this is, in a different way, this is absolutely fascinating. He's doing an excellent job there, as we've got Dean Smith just moving to one side. I think he might be nearing his end of VE and wants to go a lap down to to finish this lap. But Christian's going to come up then. 1.6.
Yeah, 2% on the last corner. He's got it. 0.8. And
what
of course, the finish line so close.
Early. Well done to Christian Kiesig then. What a drive. I mean, that explains his pace early in the race, doesn't it? So he comes across the line with the win. Sipos, excellent drive from him, including a tyre change. Finishing only 3 seconds off the leader with the 2-stop strategy. Matt Townsend bringing it home in 3rd with an excellent podium for him. Really close for Athol as well in 4th. We have a look. Temenga then coming up towards the line, up 9 places.
Sorry, Athol just tried to do donuts at the top of the circuit and immediately smashed his rear wing off.
Oh, focus. Well, it's lucky the new rules haven't come out yet, because more to come on that later in the week. Anton, excellent top 5 for his first race of this season in the rocket-themed Ford Mustang. Tyler in 6th, coming across the line in the Ferrari. Alfie coming across the line. We'll find out what was going on there, but Alfie comes home in 7th position. A little bit behind then Zach, after some issue in the middle of the race there. He's obviously had some form of drama, still brings it home in 8th, which is excellent for him. I know he was disappointed sometimes that he'd been getting caught up in incidents last season, but he's done really well today, and he's going to cross the line in 8th position. I think we've got a couple more who are still on the lead lap. Dan Tomlinson in the oNiD livery, coming across a solid P9 for him. I'm sure he'll be happy with that in the end. Reinhardt, excellent job from him towards the back of the grid, coming through to a top 10. Francisconi on his debut as well, 11th place with a solid result. And the last, I want to say the last car, but I'm probably wrong, is Alan Axon in the Lexus, mighty Lexus. Bit of battle scars on the front there, but yeah, coming home in 12th. Let's get up the standings if they will work. Please.
Maybe.
Kind of work. I'm not sure about that. Let's get rid of that one.
Oh dear. Yeah, what a race from Christian.
What a race, though, yeah. Fantastic race. I mean, fair play to him. He's the only driver to make it to the end. I am actually just going to pop this up because at least it's got the order. So we've run through the top 10. We'll pick it up from where I left off. So ignore the gaps. Omlo in 13th. Petter coming back through from an issue to 14th. Hovsep with some excellent overtakes and coming through in 15th. Chris Bell in 16th. Tim Bob in 17th, surviving the race. Fabio Gilardi in 18th. Elvin Blomqvist coming through from some dramas in 19th. Oh, wrong button. Like you think I've actually prepared for it. Look, there you go. Look at that. Valerio Poli on their first appearance in the series as well, in 20th. Dave Spillett coming home 21st in the Academy car. Dave Woods, after some shenanigans somewhere, with 3 stops and an extremely long pit lane, at one point comes home 22nd. Fran Doric again suffering from some damage, 23rd. Andy with the fabled stop go 30 coming home 24th. James Cowley in 25th. Dean Smith 26th. And then we go down to Charlie Morgan, Olaf Badej and Max Farrell. Our non-finishers, Amadeo Pagioni and Chris Downing. The Daniel and Christian were non-starters. Well,
that's just the first race of the season. We've got 5 more.
Yes, that's the first race of the season. Your thoughts, Ben?
I think it's going to be a blinder this season. That's going to be really interesting to see how people work their strategies for the next 5 races. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what people do.
Yeah, because it was doable there. So obviously we know that Christian can do it in a Porsche at COTA. That's basically what we've learned today. Yeah. But we don't yet understand whether other cars can do it, whether other drivers can do it. So next Monday, we're at Interlagos, which is quite technical in the middle of the track, but it does have a mighty straight / massive straight corner, but uphill, downhill, very at high altitude as well, so that the cars are slightly less efficient. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. I think it might be a wet race as well for the next one. I have in my notes it's potentially a wet mixed race, so that could be very interesting because they might be able to make it on one stop in wet conditions. But then we've got Monza, Sebring, Fuji, and then we finish at Le Mans.
Yeah, I cannot see anyone
No.
managing a one stop at Monza.
No, Monza and Le Mans might be a bit of a stretch, but hey, we're open to surprises, aren't we, Ben? We'll see if that works.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, fantastic race tonight. Some really good action, and it's nice to have that element of strategy thrown in as well. So looking forward to the rest of the season, especially with so many strong drivers in there. Good to see some new faces in as well across the season. So we'll look forward to that for next time. Any final thoughts, Ben, on tonight?
Just can't wait for the next one. It's going to be a fantastic season.
Well, you get us for the next 5 weeks on the Monday. I'm sorry for all, but you do. We'll be back next week, but before then, we've got 3 more streams. Wait, 4 more streams this week. We have Assetto Corsa night tomorrow. Ben, do you want to?
Yeah,
Mr. AC admin, come on, give us the juicy
first
details.
night of the British Stock Car Championship, Euro NASCAR cars around all British circuits, including Bossman himself, Johnny, in the pace car. So that's going to be entertaining for everyone. So it's a mix of formats as well. We've got sprint features. We've got a full enduro for the first time in a long time for Assetto Corsa. So it's going to be very, very entertaining with big V8 machines around British tracks.
Well, I say this every season. Why do you have to run AC on all of these incredible things when I'm busy on Tuesdays? Because I can never take part. But hopefully I'll sneak along for one race. Wednesday is our Sim Hound Academy on LMU. They have practice sessions and things all through the week, so it's good to see them on track on a Wednesday with the coaches as well. We've got 2 different classes again. I think it's Hypercar and P2 actually this time. Yeah, so
Hypercar and GT3 and fixed setups.
That's right. So it's Hypercar and GT3, but with the fixed setup. So I, for one, am fully behind the fixed setups for the academy as a bit of a tester because it definitely balances evens the playing field, and people aren't suckered into using potentially very sweaty setups to try and LMU. So I think most of us are behind that one. On Thursday we've got iRacing, which is the GT3 Intercontinental Challenge, which is going to be interesting actually. It's the first time we've done GT3s on iRacing, so looking forward to that. And then on Sunday we have the return of the LMU 100 series, so part 2 of the 100 series, 100-minute races, lots of strategy, lots of interesting tracks and races, so looking forward to that one as well. Thanks everyone though for tuning in. The stream team will be back tomorrow, and we'll be back for the same time next week, so thanks very much. Have a lovely evening.